Two investments, same amount of money, same time period. One of them quietly made an extra 300,000 rands more than the other, and most South Africans are in the wrong one without even knowing it. Here's how most South Africans start investing. They walk into their bank. The advisor sits them down and recommends a unit trust, usually one managed by that same bank. It sounds professional, it sounds safe, and so they sign up and forget about it. What they don't tell you is that most of those unit trusts charge you 1.5% to 2.5% in fees every single year. On a 200,000 rands portfolio, that's up to 5,000 rands disappearing from your account annually, whether the fund goes up or down. And here's the brutal part. Study after study shows that over a 10 to 15-year period, around 80% of actively managed unit trusts fail to beat the market. You're paying more and getting less. So what's the alternative? ETFs. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which one wins, why, and what to do about it. Before we get into the head-to-head comparison, I want to show you what fees actually cost you over time, because this number shocked me when I first saw it. Let's say you invest 200,000 rands and leave it for 20 years at a 10% annual return. With a low-cost ETF charging 0.2% in fees, you end up with roughly 180,000 rands. With a unit trust charging 2% in fees, you end up with around 860,000 rands. That's a difference of over 320,000 rands, lost purely to fees. Not to bad performance, just fees. Now let's break down exactly what each of these products actually is. An ETF, or exchange-traded fund, is a basket of shares that tracks an index. For example, the Satrix MSCI World ETF simply copies the performance of 1,500 of the world's biggest companies. Nobody is sitting there making decisions about which shares to buy. It just follows the index automatically. That's why fees are so low. There's no expensive team of fund managers to pay. You buy and sell ETFs just like shares, through a platform like Easy Equities, and you can start with as little as 50 rands. A unit trust, on the other hand, is actively managed. A team of fund managers researches companies, makes calls on what to buy and sell, and tries to beat the market. That expertise costs money, which comes out of your returns in the form of fees. The idea sounds great in theory. In practice, the data tells a different story. So on paper, unit trusts sound smarter. In reality, ETFs win almost every time over the long term. Here's the proof. Now here's where it gets really interesting. And this is the part the banks definitely don't want you to see. Over the last 15 years, the Satrix MSCI World ETF has delivered an average annual return of around 12 to 14% in rand terms. The average South African General Equity Unit Trust? Around 9 to 11% after fees. That gap compounds massively over time. But there are situations where unit trusts do make sense. Let me show you exactly when to use which one. Here's my simple framework for choosing between the two. Choose an ETF when you are a long-term investor with a 5+ year horizon. You want low fees and simplicity, you are investing through a TFSA or Easy Equities account, or you simply want to match the market and let compound interest do the work. For 90% of working professionals, this is the right choice. Choose a unit trust when you want a specific strategy that ETFs don't cover. For example, a fund that focuses purely on dividend income or capital protection. Or when you are investing through a retirement annuity and your provider doesn't offer ETFs. Or when you genuinely want professional management for a specific portion of your portfolio and you have compared the fees carefully. My personal recommendation for most people watching this, start with one ETF inside your TFSA. The Satrix MSCI World for global exposure, or the Satrix 40 if you want local South African exposure. Keep it simple, keep fees low, be consistent. If after a year or two you want to add complexity, a dividend ETF, a bond ETF, or even a small allocation to a unit trust, you can do that. But don't start there. Start simple and stay consistent. That combination beats almost every other strategy over the long run. So to summarize, ETFs win on fees, simplicity, and long-term performance for most investors. Unit trusts have their place, but only in specific situations, and only when you have compared the costs carefully. If you haven't already, go back and watch my previous video where I show you exactly how to open your first ETF account on Easy Equities and what to buy first. The link is right here. Subscribe if you want one video every week that cuts through the noise and gives you real, practical investing advice for South Africans. No jargon, no fluff, just what actually works. And remember, the choice you make today could mean the difference of hundreds of thousands of rands tomorrow.